welcome. My name's Laurel. I occasionally do social media. Is that not on? Social media news on a Monday. When I say occasionally, I was doing it regularly, every Monday. And then I got busy. And now we're back in lockdown again. So I guess we're back to doing this. As well as telling you the social media news for the last week, or in this case, last couple of weeks, which we explore together. I also check my tech setup because I'm back doing Zooms again today. And I guess that's about it. Our lockdown was supposed to finish on Friday, and it's been extended to this Friday, and I guarantee you it's going to be extended even further. Never mind. Right, are we live? I'm going to move across to the screen in a moment. So, Restream is telling me I'm live on YouTube, Facebook page, but struggling with the profile and struggling with my group. So it'll be interesting to see if Restream has lost some settings there. LinkedIn apparently is live. Hi, LinkedIn. Nice to see you. And Periscope Twitter is also online. If you're watching this, please let me know. Let me know where you're coming in from. I do have a little chat box, so we're ready to go. And let's get started. So I'll go down into this corner so you can just see me scrolling around. I feel like I'm a little bit too big. Did I change this? I must have changed it. How's that? Is that better? Can you see what I'm talking about now? AccuWeather. Okay, that's the LinkedIn Twitter account. Let me see what LinkedIn developer's doing. I need to update my course on LinkedIn algorithms, so I really need to get in and read all the research papers again, which I haven't done. Oh, I forgot. We go back to here, and we have a strap. Yay. Social media news, live from the Blue Mountains outside of Sydney. Anyway, let's go back to this one, bottom left. Marketing developer platform changes. So if you don't read these things, you have to go through all the way through, then you don't keep up to date on all the changes. And then they come around, they bite you on the bottom, which is a technical term for being caught with your pants down. Who's impacted? Partners using the new AdLift test API. Well, we're not using the test API. Do you guys know what API is? Do you want me to do a quick video on it one day? I can show you how to dig in and have it extract everything out and put it on a spreadsheet and have it automate on the spreadsheet so you can see, I don't know, we do Facebook, we can do a get on interests, I think, or behaviors, no, interests, and then see how many people like health or food or whatever rubbish we're looking at. Geolocation migration of shares. Partners using share distribution target or UGC, user-generated content target audience APIs. Oh, it's about the Bing. I didn't know. Of course, they're using Bing. So if you're doing, let's get rid of that. If you're doing geolocative targeting, you have to use a service provider. And remember, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft owns Bing. Whenever there's a bit of a fight going on, you should always look and see what else they own in the space. That wasn't very interesting. Let's see if there's something more interesting out there. So Etsy urges sellers to promote its site on social media. Etsy has such a bad relationship with their sellers. I mean, to be honest, most marketplaces do. If you think about peer-to-peer marketplaces, Uber, Airbnb, eBay, Etsy, there's very few that an online course providers, for example, Udemy, they have such poor relationships with their sellers. So I know more people who've moved off of Etsy onto Shopify or something than I know of people start on Etsy, then move off. Depop seems to do okay. Have you heard anything about Depop? Sellers talked about leveraging social media platforms like Pinterest to share advice. Shine a light on your unique shop identity and help you reach new audiences through your work. And this is the thing, the sellers bring buyers to the platform. But Etsy seems to imply that they'll do the selling. And how most of these marketplaces work, and I've done a lot of research into it and I've been involved in them for a decade or more, is the algorithm promotes those products and services that are selling well. So the people who pay for advertising, who do social media and drive people to their own shop on these marketplaces, they also get an uplift from the marketplace algorithm. People who create great products and put them up on the marketplace and then sit back and wait for them to sell tend to lose. And it has to do with only the proven will be sold. And then there's a lot of issues around some of the big shops or the big sellers. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's a product or service, copying the smaller seller and then having the budget to promote it, which then means they get the uplift again from the algorithm. So whatever marketplace you go into, you have to be prepared to run it as if the marketplace is not there, and that you're going to do your own marketing, your own advertising, and your own sales, and then just hope that the marketplace algorithm kicks in and you get additional stuff. And for that, you'll pay a cut, and in some cases, it's a big cut. What else do we have here? So, yeah, almost every platform I know is trying to urge sellers to bring more buyers to the site. One of the reasons I didn't like Udemy is they spammed my clients. So I would bring my clients to the site. They would sign up for my course and then they would spam them with my competitors' courses, which I don't care about. People want me or they don't want me. But they spammed. I mean, daily emails, which you're lucky if you get once a month email from me. Really lucky. Right, maybe they're just not slack like me. What else do we have here? Oh, the biggest myth in education. This is, you are not a visual learner. Learning styles are a stubborn myth. My problem is, and somebody that comes from a university background, I taught social media at the University of Sydney for 15 years, is that a lot of these studies are tainted studies. As an example, they use university students, and then university students have a certain background. So classically, university students often are text story types. So if you do a study at university, you can walk away and say, well, people are not typically visual learners. In fact, the opposite, they're probably text learners or something like that. And then when you go through these papers, and I've read them, they go back way beyond 2006. They go back into the 80s. The data set's too small. So the comment that I wrote, I don't know if you can read this, I'll read it out for you. Data rules. Facebook algorithms analyzed 1.6 billion people and discovered that the majority fall into story types. So Adam Mosseri and some of the data feed research engineers, and actually he's the director of the news feed, said that they've discovered that people who like photos, they give more photos to. People who play videos, they give more videos to. And people who click and read articles, they give more text posts to. Which is why if you go into the analytics of your page or your group or whatever, you'll see which of the story types, it's actually called story types, are performing best. In the research papers, story types belong to the person, but in that kind of way that we have, I forget what the term is, but we now transfer transfer the describing word into a noun, or, you know what I'm trying to say. It's actually people that are text story types, but then we transfer that across to the actual post type as being a text story type. Text story types prefer to read the full article, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't know why I can't read the rest of that. One such text story type are academic researchers. So what I was pointing out here is that academic researchers themselves are text story types. And typically, if you're not a text story type, then you won't take a job that demands you to read a lot. So other text story types are lawyers, accountants, classically. Not all, there's always exceptions. So on and so forth. Visual story types are creative arts, and a lot of people, actually, about 82% of the population would rather read a magazine than a book. Put it that way, a photo magazine. The data, and this is where academic research falls over big time, except for those academic researchers that are working specifically with big data sets now, like data journalism research. But instead of doing a survey of 40 students at uni, and if they're engineering students, then they're text story types, and if they're creative arts students, then they're visual story types, it's better to look at the data sets, because there's also something else where typically with these studies you're doing a declarative survey. How many books have you read this year? What magazines do you subscribe to? All that kind of thing is declarative, and people present their best as best self. I just read Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment for the 15th time. No, you didn't. You watched the movie. I don't know. I think if I can have behavioural data as opposed to declarative surveys, I'll always take behavioural data. And Facebook knows. Facebook's in the business of analysing and delivering the right content to the right people in the right format at the right time. That's all they do. That's every single thing they do in the business is targeted at that, because their conversions on ads, for instance, is much higher when they get that right. So, sure, go through and read these papers. It's been a while since I've read some of them. If I'm working with marketing people, my suggestion is to have a multitude of different story type content. So if you need to explain something, do it in a video, do it in audio, do it in text, do it in diagrams, infographics, whatever you need for the different audiences. And there's that, I guess. I don't know. Are you finding this interesting? It's helping me keep up to date, so thank you. I appreciate that. So this is all the LinkedIn channels here. I don't think I'll bother with their YouTube channel. Let's have a look at Facebook and Instagram's info. What's the newsroom saying? If you're not sure, this is called Feedly. There's a free version and a paid version. And what I do is I bring in every Facebook page, YouTube channel, LinkedIn page, blog site, anything I can grab from that company, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and I put it all in a folder so that I can see in one stream. If I click on the top level, I can see in one stream everything, even in different languages. Data-backed best practices to help drive better outcomes on Facebook. I will read that later. We don't need to go into that one right now. So they're changing the settings. I noticed that they put it into their different channels. So it's gone onto their Facebook newsroom page, their About Facebook page, and their Facebook press room page. But let's go into the newsroom. Thanks. So So they've put it in here and it should be... they've taken it down. Why would they do that? Because they're not ready to change the settings yet? Let's have a look. By the way, this is a WordPress CMS that Facebook runs their corporate blog on. That's really odd. Let's try here. Settings should be at the top of the... No, January 2028. Let's try the past week. Okay. So I'm not sure why they took it down. Let me try this one. There. I have no idea. If you're a journalist, you might want to look into that. Facebook posted up everywhere that they were changing settings. There might be a bit of a scandal in there. Who knows? More likely they just weren't ready to roll out, or they found a huge bug. There's a lot of them on Facebook. Let's see what Facebook Australia is saying. Do you follow the Facebook Australia page? It's run by a PR company, and I have to say... Oh, what's going on? Okay. Let's have a look. Nothing about settings. I think it's Facebook AU, isn't it? Facebook app AU, that's it. So they're showcasing small businesses. And that would have been before the lockdown, I guess. No, 50 minutes ago. Okay. Cricket Australia. This page is not optimized. If I was advising the PR agency that runs the Facebook page for Australia, I would absolutely talk to them about target audiences. Now it says 210 million people like this, including 371 of your friends. So I've got a few more friends to go. That means they're sharing it across multiple countries. Nope. Okay. Interesting. I always knew this as being Facebook AU, and now it's Facebook app AU, and that changed. I don't know if you've been following me for a while, you would have seen it in the news feeds. But they've not quite updated everything. So the algorithm has for each page a preferred audience, which could be small businesses, or it could be retirees, or it could be people with families that live in the Blue Mountains area, or it could be people interested in politics, people interested in health, people in different things like that. And they're very specific. It's not just anybody interested in any health. There would be a whole set of data points, tens of thousands of them. Like typically people who like this page are into nutrition, organic food, vitamins. You know, that's a different kind of health than somebody, for instance, who may be terminally ill and looking for assistance in that space. So the pages are very focused on the right audience. Remember, the right audience, the right time, right content type, right place. And now they've got cricket in here. And then they've got a small business. And then they've got music for Delta Goodrum's audience, which may not be the same audience that likes cricket, which may not be the same audience that likes these guys, which is why they've only got 7 likes and 1 share. So their actual, engagement numbers, and therefore the reach, because their stuff would be removed out of the news feed. Isn't that hilarious? Facebook's own pages are taken out of the news feed. And I want to go to Insights if it's still here, because they're moving it into Business Suite, but it's crap in Business Suite. I do not want to use Business Suite if I can help it. Let's put it in here. See if we can. Because I noticed they've started blocking this. Watch the page. Retry. No, it's not going to work. This is happening a lot lately. Just, yeah. If it was here, it would be up here. Frustrating. I want to see what the engagement was, but I can't. Never mind. If we go to, I know this isn't really news, but I am trying to dig in and understand some stuff about ads library, how Facebook does its own social media, and in some cases they're excellent, and in other cases it's like they don't understand their own product. So if I go in here and I choose Australia ad category, I'm going to do all, and then it's Facebook app AU, wasn't it? Maybe it's not the AU. And the reason I've come here, I knew that they wouldn't be running ads specifically through the Facebook app. So that 210 likes is from the parent pages, not the Australian page. Obviously, we've only got 25 million people in Australia, 10 times that on the page. But they have 11 admins in Australia, and then the rest of them are from around the world. So when I'm doing an audit to try and understand the commitment that the company has to social media and then the commitment that their competitors have to social media. Let me get out of the way. This is what I do. I go in here and I have a look to see how many admins they have. The page has changed its name 4 times. So, wow, it's back during the bushfires that they changed it. And then early 2020 to Facebook app. I don't know why they did it again a second time. Maybe it didn't take because it is buggy. And then the people who manage this page, 148 in the United States, 13 in the United Kingdom, 11 in Australia, 1 in Singapore, probably to capture the... Typically what you want to do with your admins, if you're going to have a few of them across the world, is you need them to cover all the shifts so that if something flares up or blows up at 4 a.m. Silicon Valley time, Singapore can ring through using a crisis comms escalation chart and notify the product managers that the press are on the page asking questions or whatever it is that they're doing. Who knows? What are we at? We're 11:30. Oh my goodness, we need to get a move on. Okay, so that's Facebook. And yes, I know that there's court cases against them at the moment by Donald Trump. By the way, I completely agree with him, and I would, even though I do not support him, I would absolutely support his case. If it's not illegal to do something, then do we really want corporate America to be the cops implementing their own rule of law? How about we fix the rules so that politicians can't do dicky things? Not arrested, not charged, not convicted. Does it mean he's innocent? No. Does it mean that the laws and regulations need to be changed? Yes. So why are we putting it on, Mark Zuckerberg to be, I don't know. What have we got here? Twitter. Hill Country. NIDOC. That's Twitter AU. So NIDOC Week is our Indigenous Cultures kind of week, like a observation week? What's it called? UN Observation Week. Observance Week. I knew that my English was not good. Observation. Observance Week, International Days and Weeks. There you go. So we have one for, where are we? We have one for our Indigenous culture. We should have more. High Dog Week. And then, are we tired? Yes. Are we tired of talking about it? COVID? What are they talking about? Let me see what else Twitter's got. I want to just check the developer account because I don't keep up to date on Twitter API changes. I just don't. Look at that, October last year. That's why I don't keep up to date on them. Announcing Twitter. 100 months ago. I must have been April. You can use the basic service Twitter, but you only get consonants. So let's have a look at blog.twitter.com. I need to find out why it's not coming in. I don't think Twitter likes the press very much. So one thing that you do when you turn off these kind of services is you're putting the press off. They don't get the updates. So I will try and add it again. Twitter blog. It's inactive. So I can burn a feed for this and I'll do that later. But listening to the real voice of the customer on Twitter. You're kind of turning off conversations when you turn off RSS. The oldest documented customer complaint wasn't in response to a request for feedback from 1750 BC in Mesopotamia. So when people say you can ignore negative reviews, they just go away, clearly they don't. Excuse me 1 minute, I'm just checking. Yeah, it looks like Restream's let me down. I shall put it over here for a sec. It says sending data and sending data. And I don't know what else to do. Maybe if I turn that off. And then what can I do? Can I turn it back on again? Do you think it would pick it up? I'll leave it there for a second. Luckily for me, I record these videos. And it means that I can cut and edit them and splice them and do whatever. And then I'll put them up in my personal group, Community Crew. And I put it into the guide section so that people can track social media news in the guide section. If you don't have a group and you don't have a guide section, let me know and I can talk to you more about it. But yeah. Okay, back to here. And not really a lot of information there. Dashboards. Let me just check dashboards because I know some of you like your Hootsuite and your Sprout Socials and marketing tech stack. Well, it won't be Sprout Social, that's for sure. I'm trying to get people off of it. Instagram One Stories. If you're not following, what's it called, Creator on Instagram or something, you probably should. Instagram.com Creators, I think it is. Let's have a look and see what it says. Yes. So this is from Instagram and it's specifically for creator accounts. So I have mostly creator accounts. I find creator accounts a good balance between the business accounts, which drop in reach, and personal accounts, which don't have any of the features that creator accounts and business accounts on Instagram have. So it's like the difference between a personal Facebook profile and a business page. Creators sits in the middle there. So they're a good option to look at. And they've got guides on here. So I saw something about them upgrading guides the other day. Guides, sort of, I guess, collections, albums, sets. Guides on Facebook groups I use them for courses. So I bundle everything in a collection, in a guide for a course. And then people can sit there on the group and go through that particular guide or collection or course or whatever you want to call it. Last couple of things. What else? Oh, Feedly's hiring a marketing automation manager. That's kind of cool. So that reminds me, what have I been up to? Well, I'm currently setting up a social media peer-to-peer community for social media managers. It's called Community Crew. I've always had the Community Crew. It's always been for this, but I'll just show you what it looks like in case, I don't know. People sometimes are like, what do you do with your day, Laurel? And I'm like, I don't know. The hours just go. I'm busy. So people can come here and search for a social media manager. So if you put in Mount Victoria and then search, you get me. Like I said, I'm setting it up. So people can join, put in their details, what kind of social media manager they are. I'm putting up jobs. So this is a job that starts... Oh, you could upgrade. I'm going to take that down. I'm going to make sure everybody can see it, so you don't have to be logged in to see them. You might have to be logged in to apply, but that's because I don't want people to be spammed. And then articles like how to write a social media proposal. And it's not just going to be me. I need other people to do stuff as well. So this is a video walkthrough on how I set up my social media proposals. I don't know. I get asked so often, if you can't do this, and normally I can't, do you know somebody else who can? Can you recommend somebody else? And I thought, I need to make this as free or as close to free as possible, because it's going to be a volume place. I don't often do volume. I normally do very small niches, but I want to do volume on this one. And the only reason it might not be free, it might be $9 or something to join, is because I want to keep the spammers out, particularly the SEO spammers who seem to join everything, and Viagra spammers, but SEO mostly. So we'll see. If you want me to keep you updated, I'm very happy to. You just have to let me know, and I will. Community Crew. communitycrew.com. And that's gone well and truly over half an hour, and I'm sorry about that. But, you know, I do try to use Monday morning for me to catch up on the news. Help you catch up on the news, and for me to test my tech. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm very happy to answer them. Hopefully I'll get my personal profile, my group streaming sorted, because it's not working currently. I think it's Restream's issue that they don't give me a proper error message, but then it's the Facebook API issue that they get and push, and things like that seem to have a big old foul sometimes. Just these things happen, you know. Do you like the picture? It's by Gary Hayes. Isn't it gorgeous? It's of the Blue Mountains. All right. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. If you're looking to book a Zoom... Oh, let me just put this one up. If you're looking to book a Zoom with me, let me know. Oh, yeah, I've got this one as well. And I'm starting to book keynotes for October. I think we're going to be in lockdown to the end of August. Hopefully that means by September everything's getting sorted. I know the new Pfizer vaccines come in by then, so I'm just going to have a guess. I'm booking the keynotes. If people are asking me, I'm booking them in. We will have to see how it works out as we go into September and October. What are you doing during lockdown? You just saw my project. The community crew is my little project for the lockdown. What are you doing? Are you doing anything interesting? Please let me know. All right, I'll talk to you soon.